Hurt Count fam. You know what I'm saying? Happy holidays, you know what I'm saying? Welcome back to a brand new video. Hey, today we about to be looking at the world's most dangerous female gangsters. I love these series because these are always the craziest videos with the female gangsters. These be so far. But gang, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Join my Discord, join the camp, and let's get into the video.
Has always been dominated by men. Many cartels, gangs, and criminal organizations are usually run by men and filled with the men that make up the rank and file.
Tight shit.
Despite the overwhelming presence of men in the world of organized crime, there are a few women that have gone out of their way to prove that they can be as ruthless, calculating, and morally bankrupt as any kingpin. So here I am, bringing you a list of some of the most dangerous female gangsters out there, some of whom have been thrown behind bars for years, some of whom still walk the streets as free women. Enedina Arellano Felix de Toledo. Born April 12, 1961, she is identified as the world's first female drug lord by the Drug Enforcement Agency, thanks to her cold-blooded ways of taking care of business. Enedina is a Mexican drug lord who, alongside her brothers, founded the Tijuana cartel and would play a pivotal role as a logistical accountant for the criminal organization.
Whoa.
Throughout most of the 1990s, the Tijuana cartel was run by her 6 brothers.
I think I heard her
before. The fall of the financial mastermind in the cartel, she would step up from her role of money laundering and financial administration to take up the position, eventually leading the cartel after the arrest of her brother Eduardo Felix in 2008. Enedina was born in Sinaloa to a family of drug traffickers. As a child, she never harbored dreams of running the family business, but her aspirations to normalcy were abandoned after her 2 brothers were declared wanted by the United States and the Mexican government.
Damn!
Most of her brothers
2 different countries wanted this motherfucker, bro. What was he doing?
Themselves either incarcerated or deceased, leaving Enedina to manage the financial aspect of the organization, oversee alliances, and direct the myriad of crimes the Tijuana cartel would commit under her leadership, including monumental contacts with drug suppliers in Colombia. I consider Enedina to be the quintessential female drug boss, or at least significant enough to be the first entry on this list. Sandra Avila Beltran.
Crazy.
Sandra is a Mexican cartel member
Sandra!
and was an incredibly powerful and important player in the Mexican drug business. Dubbed La Reina del Pacifico, or the Queen of the Pacific, Mexican and US officials considered her as an important link between the Sinaloa cartel, formerly run by El Chapo, and the Colombian Norte del Valle cartel. Born on October 11, 1960, Beltran has been twice married, with both her husbands being ex-policemen who left the service and became drug traffickers. In some parts of the world, it seems that if you can't beat them, join them, which is sadly not an option for a YouTuber like me. Or maybe I'm actually lucky, because, unfortunately for
okay.
Oh
I
my
swear,
god,
I didn't search for any of these. They're just ads.
Yeah. Sure you didn't, but...
For both of Beltran's husbands, they would meet their end at the hands of hired assassins. Beltran was arrested on September 28, 2007, and was charged with organized crime and conspiracy to drug trafficking. Her cover story as a housewife who made clothes for a living didn't exactly fly. Although some of the charges were later dropped, she was still held for possession of illegal weapons and money laundering. She was extradited to the United States to answer for her criminal charges by the US government. That wasn't all the time she would experience behind bars, however. Beltran was then deported back to Mexico, where she was immediately arrested on money laundering charges and was sentenced to 5 more years in prison and a fine. She was released in 2015 and now lives in the city of Guadalajara, having spent a total of 7 years in prison and 2 years in isolation for her crimes. Judy Moran. Moran was born on December 18, 1944.
Judy Moran.
She is the head of the Moran family, a group of infamous criminals from Melbourne, Australia. She was married to Leslie John Cole, who was shot dead in a Sydney drug-related gangland conflict in 1982. She had 2 sons, Mark Cole and Jason Moran, who she had with her second husband, Louis Moran. But life as a Moran is anything but safe or long. Her son Mark was murdered in 2000. Her other son Jason Moran was murdered in 2003.
Damn!
Her second husband Louis Moran was also killed in 2004.
What were they doing?
I mean, Judy was innocent through all this. In 2009, her husband's brother Desmond Moran was murdered, and Judy, along with 3 accomplices, were arrested for the murder. She was charged and subsequently convicted of this murder. Judy was sentenced in 2011 to 26 years in jail and 21 years with no parole.
Damn.
The Moran family, on top of having generally short lifespans, were famous for being drug traffickers in Australia. Judy Moran took advantage of their popularity and published an autobiography of her experiences just under 2 weeks after her husband Louis Moran's death.
Jesus.
That book, along with many television series they made about Judy, are pieces of media I don't think I'd feel comfortable consuming. Thelma Wright.
Yo, she took out the whole
Thelma
family.
Wright's foray
Wow.
into the Philadelphia drug scene began when her husband, Jackie Wright, a major player in the drug game, was murdered. An event that would lead to her becoming the gangster queen of Philadelphia, transporting cocaine and heroin between Los Angeles and Philadelphia.
Dang.
Thelma met her husband, Jackie Wright, when she was in her early 20s, and after his murder, she had two choices: live life on the straight and narrow, or pick up where her husband left off. Unfortunately, Wright wasn't one to give up the prospect of easy and plentiful money, so she began transporting drugs across the United States. Her turning point would occur when she found herself in a life-or-death shootout. That moment would change her life forever. She would turn her life around and give up her crown as the gangster queen of Philadelphia. Thelma was
got scared, bro.
raised in South Philadelphia and enrolled at Temple University, where she studied real estate management. So, at least she had a life to fall back on. After Wright left her life of crime behind for good in 1991, she published a memoir a decade later called With Eyes from Both Sides, Living My Life in and Out of the Game. You don't hear about the prison system changing many hardened criminals so drastically,
Thelma,
or at least
bro.
I don't. Maria Leon.
Maria Leon.
Maria Leon ruled over a criminal empire with connections to a human smuggling ring while being the mother of 13 children. She wasn't just involved in human trafficking, though. She would also smuggle drugs and undertake contract killings, among several other crimes. Maria sat like the queen spider in a web spun across North and South America. She had strong ties with the Mexican mafia and terrorized northeast Los Angeles for 2 decades. At least that is until she was sentenced to more than 8 years in a United States federal prison, with orders for deportation immediately upon release. Maria's reign as the much-feared head of a drug-dealing dynasty would come to an end thanks to the death of one of her children, Danny Leon. He had died in a shootout with the police while wielding an AK-47 back in 2008. Her problem
Bro, the most idiotic shit that you could do, bro, is have a shootout with the police. I don't care if you are if you in a cartel. I don't care if you are a gang member. I don't care if you are an assassin, bro. I don't care. The most stupidest thing that you could ever do is have a shootout with the feds, because they are always going to win. You know, that's like having a shootout with military motherfuckers. It's like, it's never going to stop. You know, like, they got unlimited backup, bro. Like, you shoot one cop, you going to have to, like, it's like you going to be on the run forever, or you going to be having to shoot out with 100 motherfuckers, bro.
started when she decided to attend his funeral in the United States. She would enlist the support of the Mexican mafia, joining the ranks of some of the most dangerous gangsters in Los Angeles. Since she was banned from entering the US, she decided to be taken there by a less than legal route. Unfortunately for her, the members of her gang were already under police surveillance, so it wasn't exactly challenging to arrest her and her accomplices. The real tragedy, I think, other than the several victims of her crimes, of course, is Maria never getting to mourn her son properly before being whisked off to prison. Maria Licciardi. Maria Licciardi was born on March 24, 1951, and is an Italian criminal affiliated with Camorra. She rose to power and took over as the head of the Licciardi clan after her two brothers and her husband were arrested.
The Cardi clan,
She was the
Cardi
first
B
woman
clan.
to become the boss of the Licciardi clan and took over as head of the Secondigliano alliance. She brought together a fragile, informal coalition of 20 Camorra clans in order to expand control of the city's most lucrative rackets. Maria would commit several crimes, from drugs and cigarette smuggling to protection and prostitution, playing a key role in expanding the city's drug trade market. Under her leadership, the Secondigliano alliance would become more organized, sophisticated, and powerful. Maria introduced revolutionary changes to the clan, expanding the depths of their criminal activities even further. The most important among these changes was their involvement in the prostitution trade. Prior to Maria's leadership, the Camorra had a code of conduct that forbade them from profiting from prostitution. However, Maria wouldn't just break this code. Under her leadership, the Camorra would buy women and minors from the Albanian mafia for $2,000. Many of them were deceived with the promise of legitimate work and a chance to escape the crushing poverty of their homeland, only to be enslaved, drugged, and forced into prostitution.
That's crazy.
Thankfully, Maria's reign of terror would come to an end when she was arrested in 2001. Rosetta Cutolo. Born in 1937, Rosetta lived alone for years with her mother in Ottaviano, near Naples. She was the power behind her brother, the famous criminal and former head of the Nuova Camorra Organizzata, Rafaela Cutolo. For over 15 years, she would pass on his orders from jail and cultivate his devoted followers on the outside. While her brother would create one scandal after another, giving interviews and making speeches in the courtroom, Rosetta would keep a low profile. Without her, the NCO simply would not have survived. She ruled in the headquarters of the NCO, called the Castle Mediceo, a massive 16th century palace worth 7 billion lira. It came with 365 rooms that featured amenities like a large.
I want to live somewhere like this.
Mediceo,
that shit is so fucking
16th
fire.
The headquarters of the NCO, called the Castle Mediceo, a massive 16th century palace worth 7 billion lira. It came with 365 rooms that featured amenities like a large park, tennis courts, and a swimming pool. Rosetta was incredibly instrumental to the organization. She negotiated with South American cocaine barons and participated in a high-level meeting with representatives of the Sicilian mafia and Camorra clans, and almost successfully blew up a police station. In 1981, police would raid her stronghold while she was presiding over a meeting of the NCO. She would manage to escape and go into hiding for over 10 years. By 1993, she would give herself up after police found her hideout. She simply walked out saying, "I am tired of being a fugitive." Rosetta was sentenced to only 5 years in prison and was somehow acquitted on 9 murder charges. Despite being instrumental in running her brother's criminal organization, she managed to persuade the authorities.
I think she told everything. She lied. She lied and she told. That's the only reason she got 5 years. Like, she lied and she told, bruh. Like, 9 fucking murders. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? 9 bodies, bro. And you got 5 years? You told everything. And then you got to think about it, too. She just said she's tired of being a fugitive. That right there can tell you that she's tired. She's tired of the game. She's tired of everything that has been going on. You know what I'm saying? She wants a way out. So she told everything. You can just tell.
Authorities, she was harmless. I can only imagine how mentally exhausting it must be to be on the run for over a decade. By the time the police found her, she must have looked like a sweet old lady. Jica Thompson. She was the queenpin of the cocaine trade in 1980s Los Angeles. Although she was based in South Central Los Angeles, she had cocaine distributors in many cities across the United States working for her. Thompson's
They call her the Queen of Los Angeles.
life of crime began in high school. She would sell between 3 and 4 kilos of cocaine a week. She married her high school boyfriend, Anthony Mosley, and would sell drugs alongside him. Thompson's drug dealing business boomed, and together with her husband, they would move to California and have a son. Unfortunately, there was no happily ever after for her, as her husband would be murdered not long after. But this didn't stifle Thompson. She would continue drug dealing, and by 1984, she would grow her business by recruiting distributors around the US, even getting cocaine shipments directly from producers in Colombia. At the age of 26, she opened a hair distribution business that authorities pegged as an operation for laundering drug money. Thompson's eventual downfall came when Percy Bratton, her business partner, was arrested with kilos of cocaine in his car. He was quick to make a deal with investigators, providing them with enough evidence to indict Thompson. She was captured at the age of 31, arrested at her son's 6th grade graduation ceremony. The charge was conspiracy to distribute cocaine and 5 counts of money laundering. Thompson was sentenced to 15 years in prison, of which she served 12 and came out a changed person. Certainly the most tragic arrest on the list so far. Rafaela Dalterio. Nicknamed the Big Kitten, Rafaela was the head of the Camorra clan Pianese Dalterio. She took over the reins of the clan.
No cap, while she was in prison, I'm telling you, bro, the only thing she had on her mind was her son, not being there for her son. And she probably didn't want to lose any more valuable years with her son. That's probably why she went in there. You know what I'm saying? She came out and she changed. Because I see a lot of these situations, they come out and they still do the same shit, bro. But, like, she changed. Like, I feel like she wanted to be there for her son.
After her husband, Nicola Pianese, was gunned down by rivals, she was arrested in 2012, along with another 65 suspects in a series of raids by officers using every arm of the law to bring her down, including helicopters and sniffer dogs. Police in Naples would reveal that more than 10 million euros worth of cars and property were seized in the raid, including a flaming red Ferrari with a solid gold number plate. Make no mistake, Rafaela wasn't just a ruthlessly dangerous crime lord, she was ruthlessly successful as well. Who says crime doesn't pay? They probably meant Google ads. Rafaela wasn't the only one making bank either. It was a proper family business. Her son, Rafael, who once tried to murder the family lawyer, and her daughters, Catarina and Costanza, who were among the people arrested in the raids, ran the Camorra clan together and shared the ill-gotten spoils as a family. Rafaela Dalterio was held on allegations of extortion, possessing illegal arms, robbery, and dealing drugs. According to some estimates, her gang was responsible for more than 4,000 murders in the last 30 years.
4,000?
Next,
bro.
we have the vice...
they going to hell. Like 4,000. Like imagine God just keep getting motherfuckers sent to him, bro. Like just day after 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 day. Hey, y'all get the fucking point. You feel me? Hey, that's how it felt to God. It was that many fucking times, and he probably like, God damn, God, they had God like goddamn, like they was sending up that many fucking bodies, bro. Like there is no way in the afterlife. I don't know. It just is. I mean, we do have a forgiving God. We do have a forgiving and merciful God. But 4,000, damn. They might not have peace after this life, bro.
Queen from Scotland, who ran a multi-million-dollar prostitution empire in New York. The mother of 4, Anna Gristina, started her life of crime from rather humble beginnings. After a breakup that left her and her young children without any support, Anna would find herself working for her cousin at a massage parlor known for happy endings. After learning the ropes, she would branch out on her own, establishing a high-end New York escort service that would match beautiful young women with some of the wealthiest and most powerful men in the city. Anna would go undetected for years as she scouted for the most beautiful women to introduce to her client base of celebs, sports stars, and businessmen, ensuring to keep a dossier of her most high-profile customers as insurance. At the height of her power, Anna's escort service was raking in $2,000 an hour. The FBI would continue to monitor her ring, hoping to use the chance to catch a big fish among her customers. Unfortunately, her empire would fall apart in 2012 when she pleaded guilty to a single count of promoting prostitution. To avoid a protracted trial on allegations that she served as a high-end madam, she also pleaded guilty to arranging a sex show for an undercover police officer and was consequently sentenced to 6 months in prison and 5 years on probation.
Damn.
They even made a movie about her life, and I just know it's the kind of movie I'd be dissecting for every possible error. So, which one of these women do you think is the most dangerous fugitive of them all? How many male gangsters do you know that are nearly as dangerous? If you enjoyed this video, then you have to click on the
chat, let me know how y'all feel about that. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We dropping banger after banger after banger each and every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving y'all 3 a day. You know what I'm saying? It's top time I'm on. But gang, I love y'all so much. Hurt Camp family out this month.